Your main spiritual exercise, your main practice, is going back and forth between before and now. And where's the continuity? Where's the connection between the two? How does the love you knew before, in the before, how does it relate to now? And does it? So in all of this, that's really the main exercise. The core exercise underneath everything else. Back and forth across that bridge between what was then and what is now. We're really just balancing them both. Balancing all of it. Life before, life now, and the rift that erupted between them. I think there's a lot of suggestion, intentionally or not, that if you were a stable, strong, competent, insightful person before this happened, you wouldn't be so shaken by this now. That's ridiculous. You could have done all the practice, all the prayer in the world, all the best meditation, read everything, all of everything, and there are just some things that destroy life so completely, your orientation is just gone. All of those things are matchsticks in a windstorm. It's a matter of scale. Often we're held up, or at least I felt this way, held up to some spiritual or enlightened ideal to be like the gods, be like the teachers, and shrug it off, whatever's happened. But if you really look into mythology and tradition, if you look at the lives of these beings or teachers we hold up, they didn't shrug off anything. We may think of these enlightened beings or masters or teachers or gifted poets, and when pain of this scale came into their lives, they were destroyed. Think of Jesus in the garden facing what he knew was to come. We can go outside of that tradition too. One of Matt's favorites, Yogananda from Autobiography of a Yogi. Here's a man who had studied and practiced, whose faith ran so deeply in him. And when his teacher died, he tells this story about the whole world going dark, about how he just went through the motions of his daily life. And I'm going to misquote him probably pretty badly here, but he says that the stream of love that had been running through his whole life dried up, and nothing mattered. And it was only when he saw his teacher, saw him in a way that was real to him, that he felt that light come back into his life, and he felt that he could continue. And the poet Rumi as well, someone that I look up to or look to as just a really wise being. His teacher was killed, presumably kidnapped and killed, and when this happened, Rumi went silent. He was destroyed. We want to reach somewhere else here, kind of classic tangent for me, but if we reach somewhere else and we go back to the myth of Demeter and Persephone, when her daughter was abducted and taken into the underworld, and here's someone the teaching stories tell us is a god, is a goddess, someone far beyond human capacity or human skill. And what did she do in her grief? She made the whole natural world go silent. Nothing was allowed to grow. She made the whole universe reflect her pain back to her. So these people, whether myth or real, they were far better equipped, far more insightful, and far better trained than even the wisest average human, and death dismantled them. So what we take from these stories, far from being held up to some unattainable ideal, what we take is that when you are broken, the correct response is to be broken. That when you are in pain, you are in pain. And don't pretend it's anything else but that. So, if you're feeling like you're held up to some spiritual ideal of enlightenment even in grief, take a look at what these stories actually tell us. So far, Nobody we know of, neither supernatural nor wise human, has reached the depths of knowledge or so cultivated a peace of being that death does not disturb them deeply to their core. So, spiritual practices, creative practices, poetic language, those things absolutely help you live your life. Totally. I built my life with those things. They made me me. And spiritual practices, a life of deep reflection and learning, they aren't wards against anything. And they don't make being broken any easier. There are some wounds too deep for medicine, and some damage can't be undone. It can only be carried.